Cool. All right. I wanted to switch my question here to actually more of the esports oriented history of you. So I'm interested in how you actually ended up, finding League of Legends, finding your space as a pro gamer. I know you used to play at the collegiate level when you were at UCI, and then obviously had a short stint at Team Liquid back in 2016. And as you move through, Plat and Diamond and Challenger, when did you realize that becoming pro was a potential career path for you, and how'd you maintain that path going into pro?
One thing I can say, I have never been in Platinum before. Like, I always skipped it. Even from my first season of
That's
playing.
a flex. That's great.
Yeah, so I think I started playing the game almost end of season 2. Like, I think a few months before season 2 ended. And back in the days in season 2, there was no challenger or anything like that. It was a number rating system, right? So I think the first time I played, I got up to 2193. I still remember the exact number of my rating because 2200 was the cutoff for Diamond, which was the highest rank back in the days. And I was playing the day where they were going to shut off the season, right? Where the rank is locked. And my internet shut down. I could not play the solo queue. All I needed just one win to get to Diamond. So I still remember, but so after season 2, I just kept playing solo queue and I was playing team ranks with my friends, and every time I played, I was just always at the highest rank possible. So
wow,
being that, I just thought that maybe this could be something that I could do.
And what was your role back then?
Back then I was playing in season 2, 3, 4, somewhere around there. I was playing AD carry, and then I actually, after graduating from high school, it was like the moment where I should decide whether should I go pro or should I go college, and then try to go pro, whatever. And then during that time, Robert Morris University, which was located in Chicago, was the first school to announce like esports scholarship, League of Legends scholarship.
Wow!
So I went there. And from there, I met a lot of people in the scene, and I tried out for Team Liquid Academy. I got picked up after the school ended, and that's how my career started.
Wow! Can you run us through what a tryout looks like when it comes to one of these? Sorry to be so esports centric. I'm just curious.
No worry. No. I'm enjoying the questions because I never got a chance to answer all these. But it's weird because I think it's really different than nowadays. Nowadays, like there's like a proving ground, so people like actually who are in amateur scene could have a place where they can show themselves, show their playstyle and all that. But back in the days, there was no structure, no system to stuff like that. So the only way for you to get a tryout is by having a friend who's in the organization or who's in the tryout, who knows the coach of the from those team, and from there you hear there's a tryout and then you ask the friends and all that. And because even though I was like top 10 like in season 2, 3, like I didn't really had in-game friend because I was always just playing for myself and all that. But it was up until, for me, how I did my tryout was as I said, I went to Robert Morris University where I met Zig, who was top laner for Dignitas back in the days, or some team. I'm really bad with remembering.
I'm not great with it either. Don't worry.
Yeah. So Zig and like some few other players who, Tails, who is like C9 coach currently, and they were doing a tryout for Team Liquid Academy, and then I was like, "Yo, can you hook me up with it?" I tried out, and it's pretty much the same. They just gather a bunch of solo queue players. They create a team, switch players in and out to Team A to Team B, and they just try to pick someone from there.
Yeah. They check your CS, they check like kill participation, things like that.
Yeah. And your comms, your knowledge, and all that.
Really cool, man.
In a situation like that with a bunch of other solo queue players, is it almost like everyone's just trying so hard to flex on each other that it's almost kind of like, by virtue of everyone trying so hard and trying to be the one that stand out, you're also inhibiting each other's play?
Exactly. I mean, coaches are not dumb. Like, the players are not dumb. So if they see some players like trying to manipulate their teammates to make them self shine, then they would know, and they won't get picked up.
Gotcha. So I'm interested too. Like you said that after you were getting out of as you were getting out of high school, you know, there was already sort of this career pro esports player path that was sort of set out in front of you, and in fact helped you kind of get a scholarship and go to school and all that kind of stuff stateside. One of the key themes in players that I think is really prevalent is specifically the journey of like Cream Cheese and Organism and the esports career path in regards to their families, and how a lot of players or a lot of families may not understand this career path currently. I think back even when I was in high school, it was a very strange thing for people to accept, but it's becoming more and more commonplace. Was the encouragement to be a pro player always there for you? Was it ever? Did you ever feel like, oh, why is he doing that, or is that even realistic, or did you always kind of have that encouragement being pushed from your family?
From my
Family, friends, you know, close loved ones and everything.
Well, I mean, from my people who were around in my life, they were really not supportive, I guess, because I mean, it was the era when when I decided to go pro, and then when I was trying hard to go pro, it was the era where people were not really viewing gaming as like a profession, right? It wasn't really perceived that way. So my parents really didn't like it. They're Korean, they're Asian parents, and the typical Asian parents. So, but because one reason why I went to Robert Morris University is because I could convince them that this could be a thing. Like I can still go to university, receive scholarship while I'm playing game, and the pro scene, the professional scene for League is legit. So I could go for it, and so like I use it as one of my excuse to play game more.
Yeah. Gotcha. No, it's interesting too, because Nightfall in the show, his parents are so encouraging. They're cheering in the crowd and stuff, and it's sort of that foil to like Organism or Cream Cheese's family, who are actually Cream Cheese's family is like very absent, from players. So it's really interesting to get that sort of contrast there. So I just wanted to ask about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, great. So going back to players as well, a little distancing from the esports a little bit, I'm curious. So I know watching the show, Lucas and I were talking a lot just about kind of what we thought was like the message of it, what we thought the themes were. And I'm curious for you as someone that acted in it, what were the biggest themes of the show and like the biggest kind of messages that an audience member should be taking away? And did that change from when you were filming to the show to when the show was actually released?
Oh, this is a good question. I might have to think about it a little bit.
That's okay.
You got time.
You got time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I'm having a hard time answering this question is because I didn't really think about the theme of the show when I was watching. I was just like watching it to consume it, and just genuinely was happy about the show, and just But I think one thing they could take away from it is it's also something that I always, every time I watch the show, this type of emotion always like came up, which is the one where, because it's a story about 5 kids or boys who have one goal of winning championship, and they are going through the struggle, and like they're going through like personal arguments and all that, right? But I'm gonna have to rephrase that. I would just start from here. So the reason why I was trying to go pro and all that, and when I was trying to go pro, I wasn't thinking that, I want to try to go pro, so I'm going to keep improving and all that. I genuinely was just having fun with my friends in scrims, in team ranks and all that. I just enjoyed playing with my friends, and we are trying to win every game, and we're trying to improve as a team and all that. And that is the main reason why I kept playing competitive. I kept, I kept on being a professional player, and I kept on being in the competitive scene. And I think the show really captured well that kind of emotion or vibe or stuff like that. Like especially in the earlier episode when they were just amateur team, They did not have any sponsorship. They did not have any like budget, pretty much. But they were goofing around, having fun, drinking, having shots, hot sauce,
hot sauce shots.
Right.
And all that. So I think they really captured it well, and I think the audiences, I hope that they do capture those kind of moments and see the value in that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was really cool about the show was the way they really captured like the importance or sort of the prestige of a championship title. Even like Foresight, the character who plays on TSM, who, you know, has won like 6 titles and is sort of like the opposite of Cream Cheese in that he's had a very like prestigious career. And he sort of evolved past our main character, Cream Cheese. And how accurately would you say they capture that sort of lifestyle, that sort of idea of an LCS championship, how important it is to a League of Legends pro player? Do you think it was captured very accurately?
I think they really did capture it well. Like, I mean, Cream Cheese, even though in the show, he's viewed as one of the best support NA, right? But he has not won any championship, and they really did. I think they really did capture the struggle those kind of players will go through, like who's viewed as the best in their role, but they haven't won any a single championship, and partially is their fault because Cream Cheese did, you know, fucked up
the Alistar combo.
and that really captured. I think they did really a good job in capturing those kind of things.
Yeah, no, I thought so too.
Yeah, and also for for Foresight, like who has won like several championships, and he was thinking that he might retire after the year of this year. So because like, I mean, I can tell that some people will get burned out after trying so hard, winning so many championships and all that, and like just burden just adds on to them, and even for Foresight. So I think they really did capture those.
Gotcha. Yeah, great insight there. I think you know, sort of the prestige and the glory of a championship is so interesting to me, especially as the years have gone by with League. You know, I think we're now in double-digit years for the LCS, and you know, playoffs are going on right now, and it's just so clear how much the prestige and the glory has really come through in terms of you know, playoff League of Legends and Worlds and LCS and all that kind of stuff. I had a question for you. One thing that I really like about players is how scenes from the show become recontextualized throughout the season. So, for instance, Cream Cheese has a speech at the very beginning that sounds so silly, where he just says, you know, we're probably going to win 7 championships, right? And it's like one of the opening jokes of the whole series. And then they show that scene later after showing what had led to it. And it actually becomes a very sad moment for Cream Cheese, where
he just gives
that speech, and it's actually more heartbreaking later, like, you know, halfway through the series, maybe episode 6 or 7. So my question to you is, throughout shooting the show, did you know when something was funny? Did you know when it was going to actually be more of a heartbreaking moment or a sad moment? Because I feel like the show does a great job of switching our view of players and characters that way.
Me personally, I had no idea how the scenes were gonna look, how the scenes were gonna use. Because one of the reasons why is because, I mean, I was never an actor before this, so I didn't really had an idea how you should be analyzing the script, analyzing the scene, how the scene will look like or anything like that. All I did was, you know, I just showed up to the scene and I just did my lines and just went home. But one of the main reason why I was so confused on what scenes are gonna look like, how are they going to order it and all that, is because the way they shoot it. The show was shot in 10 block shooting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Oh, block shooting. It's
block
called
shooting.
Block shooting.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, it's block shooting, and we did 10 episode block shooting, which means that each day we were shooting a scene from every episodes here and there. So even everyone was confused of the timeline. So we always had to ask the director, which scene is this from? What happened just now? Like what happened in the previous scene and
right.
like all that. So I had no idea how they were going to but it looked so amazing on the show. So
yeah, totally. So were you like something was super funny maybe when you heard it or on the set, but then when it came to the actual presentation of that particular line, it was like, oh wow, this is more sad than I thought it would be. Did that ever hit you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of my favorite parts of the show was the contrast of that particular speech. But it happens even with Cream Cheese, you know, showing how he seems like such an obnoxious character at the beginning, and then you realize that he's just a really good friend in a lot of ways, and he's like a really loyal guy. I thought that was fantastic. Really well done by Tony and Dan there.
Definitely.
Yeah, your episode in particular, actually, I think it was 6, where it was really focused on your character. Really did a good job of digging into that, where you're like, he just wants to support your organism. Just let him support you.
Yeah, that was great.
Just listen to
let him do his
That was a
job.
great line. That's actually one of the really great lines. I feel like Nightfall, because Nightfall is like the voice of reason within the group, right? He's the carry, he's the jungler, obviously, and he's like really trying to tell Organism and like talk some sense into him about what he's doing. And I just some of those scenes where you're really saying that. I even rewatched. There's like a scene on the couch after like the first game you guys play, even before playoffs, and you're all sitting together and you're like, he picks Heimer. Why did he do that? He didn't say anything. Like you guys are like giving the natural reaction because like Cream Cheese and Organism are so enigmatic and so like hyper and different, but you guys are just like, what? You guys are like typical like, this is ridiculous.
yeah.
You guys are the voice of reason. You know, it's great.
It's the scene where me and Bob and Big Ol' Bucket of Water was just eating ramen and all.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was a funny piece.
I
of
think
dialogue.
that scene was that was improv. For sure.
Really?
That scene was
Cool.
the improv.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Because we were just eating the ramen, and then Tony was like, "Okay, just talk about the game, like you know, just as if like you how you would be talking in team room, pretty much."
Yeah.
Because me and Bob was expert, like everyone there. Me, Arrow, and Miko, who played Big Ol' Bucket of Water, were ex gamers. So like Tony directed us a lot of those kind of things where just talk about the game.
Yeah, I think that was where Organism went for a Baron steal when everybody was pushing mid, and he got killed like 1v5 or something, and you were like, "We're all pushing mid. He goes for Baron. What is he doing?" Yeah, I mean, we've all tried to go for Baron in that situation, so I think we're all guilty of that. Yeah.
Awesome. So, kind of going off of that, there was really kind of a limited amount of people that were really like pro gamers previously on the set, right? Like not everyone had that background, not everyone had that experience. And really that knowledge about esports and league and really gaming at large. So were there ever times on set where, whether maybe it was the directors or even one of the actors that may have been a bit more unfamiliar with this scene, whether that was Misha or I forget his name, the actor that played Braxton, or maybe where
Eli Henry.
Eli Henry, yes, thank you. Where the read a line and then you realize as they read that line or as they give like a whatever, oh, that doesn't really make sense, like with how I understand the culture of League. And then you would maybe have to like politely be like, hey, like maybe not,
Yeah. I could not really think about a specific scene where I did say to Tony or like Dan about, I don't think this is how it's done in the professional, like, in the house or in the actual world. But I do remember me having a conversation with them at some point about that. So it's not, it's nothing that it's not a thing that never happened.
For sure. Almost maybe more like consultational in that sense, where they're like, does this kind of make sense in a more broader? For sure. Yeah. Yeah,
pretty much. Or it was more like me giving an idea. In an actual house, we'd be playing the game or like this way or something like that. How is that sound? But I mean, it's also because a lot of the people who are actually from the scene, like Kian Lim and like Jad, was already in the set, and they were they were in the development stage. They were participating from the development stage of the show. So like there was not much things that I personally could contribute because it was already good enough, So.
Yeah. Definitely. I understand that Riot was involved in a lot of ways with the development of the show. Did you like ever go to Riot or talk to Riot employees on set? Were they around? Did you ever tell them to like nerf Zeri or anything like that?
No, I never. I was just focusing on shooting the film. So.
Were you playing a lot of League while you were shooting just to get in character and everything?
Yes, yes. It's also because after I think the time where we were shooting that is after I graduated from UCI, and I think starting junior year of my university year, I stopped playing League because I was trying to study and find a job or something like that. But after I got the show, I just had to be in shape again. I just felt like I just have to get those emotions back, so I just started playing.
Nice. Who's the best champion right now?
Oof, out of like which role? Just
well, you're a top laner, right?
I'm an AD carry.
Oh, you're an AD carry currently. Okay, so who's the best AD carry right now?
I think right now the top two is Zeri and Sivir, and maybe Kalista up there.
Basically,
I think those three are the best.
I think I saw like 10 Zeri Sivir bot lanes in LCS so far this year. It's basically much. Every single lane is Zeri Sivir.
It's either Ben or Pig.
Yeah, exactly. How do you feel about Yuumi right now?
I hate her.
I hate her too.
I hate to play with her. Yeah. I hate to play against her.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So how do you, as a really high? Because I'm an ADC myself. Actually, I'm not a very good ADC, but I do like the role a lot. I main Jhin, and I hate when there's a Yuumi on my side. I don't really know why. I want you to help me figure out why. What is it?
I mean, it's because if you have Yuumi on your side, so usually if you don't have Yuumi, and let's say you have Nautilus or Thresh or Leona or any typical support, then they also create a space in lane, right, for you to do more damage or for you to CS easily or anything like that. But once Yuumi is on the team, on your team, she is no longer creating the space that other supports were creating. So that's why maybe you feel that it's harder to play the game.
I just feel like she's not doing anything. That's always
exactly. I mean,
this is like a league therapy session.
Yeah, sorry. It makes me so angry, man. Just pick Leona. It's just stand in the bush. Just pick Leona and sit in the bush. It's not that hard.
I'm totally with you. With that.
Anyway,
totally.
One thing I want just to go back into it here with the show. So one thing that players touched on that I thought was really cool. This is sort of related to like high skill ceiling. The team, spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen the show, my apologies. The team goes to Worlds and goes to Korea, and they talk about the high skill ceiling on the Korean servers. And like there's kind of half of an episode really dedicated to this concept. And of course, Organism kind of has his the ending of his is that he's trying to become number one on the Korean server. And I understand, it's sort of always been this thing that the Korean servers have always been tougher. Korean teams are usually like in the top at Worlds, way, way above the NA teams. So I'd love, to hear your description of the cultural differences and the mechanical differences between the players in NA and the players in Korea, let's say.
I think the gap is definitely closing nowadays, especially like how Danny from EG, like he just popped off at the final. So I think the skill gap in terms of the new talents are definitely closing. But I think one of the main difference between Korean like esport culture and NA culture is so first of all, Korean players are playing in like 9 ping in solo queue. And on
nice.
average, and then they're actually playing the game how it should be played, But NA people in NA, I think on average they have maybe 60 ping, 50 ping, somewhere around there. It's really not optimal. Like it's playable, and it's enjoyable, I guess, a little bit. Maybe the ping has to do with how toxic they are, but
oh man,
no.
I've blamed the ping. I've blamed the ping before, so I'm getting a little sweaty here. My apologies.
No, I'm just kidding. But I think that's one of the reasons why the skill gap is there. But I think another difference is the culture of the country itself. I think in Korea, like if you are older than someone, that you genuinely have respect towards the elders in Korea, right? And so I think like the hierarchy wise within the teammates are already sort of set. Depends on how experienced you are, like how older you are and stuff like that. And meanwhile in NA, like everyone has to figure out who's the shot caller and who's better than someone, or like who's the star player of the team. So like it's like they are wasting time to find the identity of the team. By meanwhile in Korea, in some ways already set a little bit, right?
That is very
like,
interesting.
let's say, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it might not be the same case with Faker, like because
I was gonna say, what about Faker? You know, coming out swinging when he's so young.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but at the same time, like everyone back in SKT, I think that was T1 K. That was the name of the team where Faker was a rookie player. But everyone was like really high elo up there. But even then, even when rookies on the team and like everyone's like brand new team or anything like that, there's still a little bit of hierarchy that is already set by the culture of the Korean culture. You know, like age could be the one, like stuff like that. So I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
and language as well. Yeah.
Totally. Wow, that is so interesting. You know, I think there is one of the big things in players is certainly ego, as sort of a real kind of piece of tension between cream cheese and all that kind of stuff, to cream cheese and organism. But that's interesting to hear that take. I've actually never heard that observation before. So yeah, there's that kind of set hierarchy that kind of smooth things over in terms of the shot calling.
I think so.
Yeah, and shot calling being such an important piece of professional league for sure.
Love that. I'm kind of curious, going off of the last episode where y'all go to Worlds. It's not outright said, but the sentiment I got from Cream Cheese as well as the rest of the team, barring Organism, was that who cares? We're at Worlds. We know we're gonna get just destroyed. Let's go have fun and do karaoke. Is that like as an actor, was that what you guys were going for? Do you think that's kind of what the mindset of the team was, barring Organism?
I didn't really get your question. So as an actor, when we were shooting this scene, are you asking that whether that was our team's like?
Yeah. So were you trying to portray a sense of like, who cares? We're at Worlds. We're gonna get screwed over no matter what. So let's just have some fun and go do some karaoke.
No, I think it was more like, because we did shoot a scene where we were like playing scrims and like we were playing solo queue and all that, and it was actually Organism who was busy doing all those promotion with Puma and like all those, you know, Red Bull, I don't know what kind of names were there for the show, but it was actually him that was like always out, like not screaming or anything like that. So I think for us it was more like I mean, we did play a good amount of solo queue at that day, so let's just go karaoke and explore and like come back and do the same thing.
Definitely, yeah.
I got a question for you. Did you go to Korea to shoot?
I don't know if that's a question that I can
okay.
answer.
Because I'm asking, you don't have to answer that. I'm asking because I swear the karaoke bar you were at is the karaoke bar that me and Matt go to.
You know,
yeah,
you already know the answers.
Was it K-pop karaoke in K-Town? You don't have to answer. I'm just curious.
I mean, if you think that is familiar, you're probably right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
I would just leave it there.
Even our producer, he was over here the other day, and he's like, "Dude, they were at the K-pop player. They were at K-pop karaoke because he's been there a few times." And I was like, "No way!" We like went to the episode, we paused it. He's like, "That's the bar. That's the place." And I was like, "Damn, he's right. Good eye. But no, that's cool. That's cool. Using the local spots probably wasn't too far for you to have to go out there.
Maybe.
Keep it a mystery. I got something for you. I got a little bit of a fun question. So on this podcast, Matt and I usually cover mostly single player games when we do like game reviews and gaming news and stuff like that. What's your all-time favorite single player game?
Ooh, just in general. Right?
Yeah, in general.
Single player meaning that I'm the only player in the game. It's not like a competitive game or anything like that, right? Yeah. I think I would say FIFA.
All right. Matt's a huge FIFA fan.
Are you guys a FIFA player? Oh,
I love soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. Are you a fan?
I'm a fan of soccer, yes.
Who's your team?
I've always been. Spurs for now.
Spurs. Ooh. okay. Harry
I mean,
Kane.
just
Harry
because
Kane.
I'm Korean, yeah, Kane and Son
Oh,
is
and
there. So
Son, right? Yeah. I'm a Leeds fan now. Leeds United. Yeah. Have you watched Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso. I know.
The show.
It's a show on Apple
No,
TV.
I didn't.
But
I never watched it. No.
we got an American coach over there now, and 2 American players. And Ted Lasso is about an American coach coaching in the Premier League. But anyways,
It's like a
getting off
documentary.
topic. No, it's like a comedy show. But getting off topic here.
I see.
So we gotta play FIFA sometime. That's awesome.
But man, yeah, I'm so down to play against you. I've been looking for someone.
What do you play on? What do you play on?
I just play like Manchester. Oh, PC. I'm playing
Is
on
it crossplay?
I don't think so.
We'll have to look at that in the new
Maybe
one.
I would just come to your house and one day.
There you go.
dude.
Oh, yo, there you
Please
go.
do.
There you go.
Yeah. Awesome.
He's gonna destroy you, Matt.
I
It's
know.
like there's no
I
chance.
know.
I'm so ready.
Dude, FIFA's the one game, like, I mean, I've played video games with you all my life, Lucas. I keep it pretty tame generally. FIFA, because I played soccer growing up. FIFA's the one game where I play it, and like if an action doesn't play out the way I know it should as a player, I get like irate. It is the one game I will genuinely like throw something. Like if I have a water bottle, I'm like,
Oh my god.
Dang,
All
man.
right,
Okay,
I'll
Matt,
never
don't
come to your
never
house
get that
this
Yeah,
fired
time.
he's.
up
I don't want to
otherwise.
come
Why
over.
you
Yeah.
why you telling him this right now? He just said he'd come over and play FIFA. He doesn't
Yeah,
want to
I
get
know, I
not
know.
thrown at
anymore.
him, dude.
Not anymore.
it's passion. It's passion. But, nah, that's funny.
Youngbin, do you
So-
play Smash? Do you play Smash?
I try to, but no.
Okay,
I'm
'cause
not
that's
great.
fair.
We're
That's
ex Smash competitors. That
Yeah.
was our big
Ooh.
competitive game for a little
That
while.
is a really
yeah.
hard game to be good at, I think.
It was.
So-
we weren't even
We're
nearly
still
good
bad.
enough.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, we're bad.
yeah, it's a fun one. Cool. So this was your first big acting gig. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but as I understand. And I know you had mentioned in your interview with Travis Gafford at the LCS site facility that previously, before acting, you were looking at pursuing a career in finance. So I'm just kind of wondering, how has that transition been for you? Are you still doing like day jobs here and there? Are you still doing like any financial stuff or really any kind of stuff on the side? I know you have your Twitch stream going, or is it really just full focus on acting? That's my main focus right now.
I think for now, I'm focusing on acting, like 100%.
Awesome.
Like I'm not trying to so because back in the days before I got this job, this acting gig, the players, I was studying for a CFA, certified financial analyst, right? And I failed the test, so
Oh, no.
I had to study again. I failed the level 1 test, but that's why I was like, because it takes a lot of time to study for those exams, like certificate exam. It took me like 6 months to get through the whole material once, and I think eventually I might pick up on the way because it's one thing that was fun to study for. But for now, because I really want to get into acting, and I'm trying to get all the classes. I'm getting all the lectures about acting. Like I'm attending
Nice.
classes and all that.
That's awesome.
So I cannot really find time to study for that because I'm just trying to focus on acting for now.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear, man.
As a previous potential financial professional, I'm curious: do you ever wander into the depths of Wall Street bets?
Ooh, no, I never.
See, he's smart, Matt. He doesn't go on that. He's
Never
a
want
smart-
to and never will.
Yeah, man.
Matt, you could learn something from Youngbin over here, okay?
I know. No, I don't go on Wall Street bets anymore. I had a dark phase in my life, Youngbin, let me tell you, where I was one of the kids standing GME, GameStop.
You had a lot of
and
GameStop,
Dogecoin. I had a lot of Dogecoin, not a lot of GameStop, but we've grown up now. We've grown up.
Yeah.
I had a question for you.
Before we move on, although if I did listen to my friend who was on the Wall Street bet, I would have made so many money.
That's just it, right?
GME.
Hindsight's
I really would've
2020. And then you know what
Just shooting
happens?
myself.
And
I
then
know.
you get FOMO. You see the next meme stock. You buy some call options. And the next thing you know, you're down a lot of money.
Oh man, Matt, lot coming out here. Lot coming out here from Matt.
It's like a therapy session for me now.
Yeah. Youngbin, okay, I'm curious over here in terms of the acting skill. You know, it sounds like you're becoming, you're really diving into the acting stuff. You know, you're going to classes and studying. I'm wondering, how your sort of habits, your discipline with trying to be a pro gamer in that realm, be really good in that regard, has translated into trying to be a really great actor. I know with players, it was very specific about a life that you had really led before, very close to home. But do you find yourself, practicing your CS in acting, in regards to acting, so to speak?
I think I'm so glad you asked this question because from the cast member, I am a good friend with the cast members and players, right? And Peter Thornwald, who played Forsyth in the show, I'm like chatting with him daily, pretty much. Like regularly, we're just jumping on like Apex Legends, just like goofing around. And he's also
nice.
Like I'm also like inviting him as a guest in my stream to do stuff like it. But one thing that's really funny about the relationship between League and acting is that I can use a lot of the understanding that I have about League in when I'm when I'm trying to understand acting. Like I think one thing that I'm glad that I played this game to the level where I played is that I can use a lot of I can use League to understand how to become better in different field, right? Like, in order to become really good at League, I'm trying to give an example of what I'm trying to say, is that every day you're playing solo queue and every day you're getting better, but some days you will have slump where you're just losing 10 games in a row, losing streak and all days, but eventually. How do I say this? I just lost my track of saying.
Slow improvement, slow incremental disciplined improvement, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's more Okay, so this is the thing. So when to play at the highest level in League, right? You obviously have to have all the knowledge about the game, small details about the game. You gotta know the matchup, and you gotta know like how to draft and how to CS, how to space yourself, and all that, right? But once you're in the game, you should never think about those in the game, right? Because you have to use your intuition and all that, and all the second decision will matter. In terms of your performance, right? And one thing I figured out about acting, so I'm using those kind of analysis I have about the game when I'm trying to understand the acting as well. Like I need to prep about the character history. I need to know like what their gigs are, what their small details about the characters. But when I'm trying to act and trying to be in the scene, I should never really think about that. All the background work is just there, and you just believe in yourself and just go from it.
That's a really, really cool way of viewing it. Yeah, no, I love that. It's a combination of really doing a lot of research and prep, but yeah, living in that moment, right? Reacting and like being an actor in that moment. Yeah, love that. Wait, who's your Apex main? I heard Apex came at the beginning of the question. Who do you main in Apex?
I used to be Seer main, but now I'm trying to transit into Mad Maggie because she's so OP, I feel like.
Okay, who's Peters?
Piers, I think his main is Pathfinder.
Yes,
but he's so good. Pathfinder. Like he used to be master. Like he's a master.
Oh, really?
Oh, dang.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Wow.
I just jumped into a game for the first time the other day in like a very long time, and I was just pretending I was Spider-Man with Pathfinder. So
Path is sick.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's so hard to grapple though. Like I'm trying to go this way and ended up making me go that way.
Do you think that Apex is in a good spot right now? Because I feel like every single season, everyone tells me it's the best season.
Like I mean, everybody just I just started playing the game, so I don't have an opinion about it.
Yeah,
I think it's a fun game though.
It's great.
It's a fun game.
It's like it's the one battle royale that I've only ever heard consistently good things about. You know, I think Fortnite had a down points coming back up. I know Warzone has had so many problems with like hackers and cheaters and stuff, but Apex has been like the one consistent one that has maintained relevance in the zeitgeist and just is always like everyone's like, yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Did you ever play PUBG or Fortnite?
I was a huge PUBG player.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the reason why I stopped playing that game is because there was so many hackers. I just couldn't.
Yeah, it was rough. Well, the game also wasn't. It wasn't very well optimized in a lot of ways too. I remember my one of our a friend of the podcast, one of our close friends, he quit the game when he was on the second story of a building and a car ran over him. Just a complete bug, and he's like uninstalled instantly. He was like, nope, never again, we're not playing this game anymore.
I'm not gonna deal with that.
Awesome. All right, well, hey, this has been awesome. Matt, did you have any other questions for Youngbin?
I got one more. Youngbin, season 2, what can you tell us about season 2?
What's next?
I wish I know anything about season 2. I wish.
I certainly hope that there's more for players, you know. I know that with Tony and Dan's previous show, you know, American Vandal, it got the 2 seasons on Netflix. Both are amazing. And, you know, I'd love just let them know that there's massive players fans out there. I think it's one of the best shows this year. It's one of my favorite shows. I think it's one of the most unique shows ever made.
So good.
And it's so, like, tied to the here and now. Like, it's so immediate, and it's so, like, I feel like everybody above 30 years old should watch players to understand, like, what is going on in the culture right now with, like, competitive gaming and how important it really is, how much money, how supported it is by such an economy of, like, advertisers and professionals and, like, anyway, I can't say enough good things about the show. You know, thank you for playing your role in it and doing such an awesome job.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, awesome. Thank you. But I really did. I mean, one thing I can say about season 2 is there were some scenes that was edited out, that did not make into the show, and I'm gonna hope that those scenes that were edited out gets picked up in season 2.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We hope
teaser
so
there.
Too. Yeah, we hope so too. 'Cause, I was just echoing off everything Lucas said. I mean, I was just so blown away with how well it depicted everything, because I was just so afraid it wasn't going to do like justice to esports. It was just going to like be like trying to make fun of nerds or something like that, you know, just like really just trying to slam on it. But it was obviously it's a mockumentary, so it is a comedy, but it was a very respectful, funny, and also told a very, very good story, I thought too. So it was awesome. Well, this has been great. I mean, thank you so much for your time. Where can we find you? What are you working on that you want to shout out? All the good stuff.
Well, all of my social network, I'm using the same account, IGN, same account name, which is Youngbin with 2 I. So you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all of that using Youngbin with 2 I.
How often are you streaming these days?
Right now, I'm streaming every Wednesday. Is my firm schedule, Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Nice.
But I might be picking up stream here and there when I feel like.
Cool. Mostly League? Are you doing Apex? We're going to see you playing PUBG?
Mostly League, but if there is a lot of people who wants to see me playing Apex, then I'll
okay. We'll be spamming the chat here and there. Our audience might be going over there and spamming the chat too, so you might get some followers or subs. Quick, last question. Are you watching the LCS playoffs right now?
I have not been following it, no.
You haven't
but I was watching...
Who's your team?
What is that? Who's my team? I mean, I wasn't even watching it, so I couldn't. Who made it to the? Is it final now?
It's semifinals right now. 100 Thieves and Cloud9 are at the top of the bracket, top side. Team Liquid just won today, but Evil Geniuses and TSM are kind of in the running there too. So we're in like top 5 right now. Should get pretty exciting here.
I mean, my pick is simple then. Team Liquid.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Should be a straightforward one for you.
All right, good. That's what I wanted to hear.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, then, everyone, as always, you can find the the podcast on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at TFP Podcast. That's at TFP Podcasts with an S at the end. And I think that's all we got. All right, everyone. This has been. Thanks for playing.
Peace.
Catch you next time.
Thank you, guys.